Right, it is 4 o'clock. I'm going to call to order the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners Committee of the Whole meeting. Our first item, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner DeLue.
Here.
Commissioner Gisler.
Here.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Here.
Commissioner Mazer.
Here.
Commissioner Morales. Commissioner Ray.
Present.
Chair Strebs.
Here.
Vice Chair Taylor.
Here.
Commissioner Wheeler. Here. 8 present.
Thank you. And Commissioner Morales has communicated she is en route to the meeting. Administrator, so we still not have streaming function? We do. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. We're just having some ongoing tech issues that staff are diligently at work at. So item 2 is public comment. Opportunity for public comment can be made in person or by phone. If you're attending virtually, you call 855-925-2801 and enter meeting code 10748. That part is not working. Thank you. That's okay. I should have been clearer. All right, so our call-in is not available this evening, and our apologies for that tech delay. Certainly, public comment is still available to participants in chambers. So if you'd like to make public comment, you approach the podium. Once you're recognized, please share your name and where you're from. You have up to 3 minutes to address the board on any topic. Is there anybody wishing to make public comment? Please come join us.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes, thank you. Welcome.
Excellent. Thank you for having me. I'm Chandra Kinney. I'm the district manager at the Kalamazoo Conservation District. This evening, I am just simply here to invite everybody to our upcoming annual meeting and election of the board, Cultivating Connections. That is going to be on March 5th from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the AZO Venue, Lounge, and Grill, where we will be sharing a lot about what our plans for the upcoming year is, what our impacts have been over the past year, and then providing everyone with a social evening with games, a silent auction, awards, and more. You are all welcome to RSVP at our website, kalamazooconservation.org.
Great. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you.
The former Beacon Club. Thank you, Commissioner Gisler.
I apologize. I should add this event is open to the public, but voting is only open to Kalamazoo County residents.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else wishing to make public comment? All right. I'm seeing none. So we'll end public comment. We'll move to item 3. Let's go to our review of accounts payable and our payroll disbursements, and we'll welcome Finance Director Post. Welcome.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair Pro Tem, Board of Commissioners. This evening we have an accounts payable claims list totaling $8,435,072.09 is presented for your review. Of this total, the Board of Commissioners is asked to approve claims totaling $7,260,362.03. Payroll disbursements totaling $4,296,002.61 are presented for the January 31st elected and general payrolls. That being said, welcome any questions from the board.
Thank you. Are there any questions, Commissioners? Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. I just have one. Sorry I wasn't able to get to you a little sooner. It's on page 21 at Kalamazoo County Expo for $223,360 and some odd cents. There was a line where it looks like the parentheses were you might have done it and then decided not to and then decided to. So just curious.
Yeah, absolutely. I would allow the Treasurer's Office to comment a little bit more on this, but specifically what this situation is, Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, is this relates to the Discover Kalamazoo 71% share that we pay out. The treasurer's office reclassified some administrative fees from one account to the other. So that's where you see the negative and then the positive, and then you see another payment that represents the actual payment itself. But again, I would defer to the treasurer's office on this as they manage that fund transaction.
Just asking for a friend.
Very well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's always asking for a friend. Any other, he does have a lot. Are there other questions? All right, seeing none further. Thank you.
Very well, thank you.
All right, we'll go to item number 4. We have a presentation on the Kalamazoo County Public Art Commission, their annual report for 2025. We'll welcome Jared Vander Wheel, Kalamazoo County Public Arts Commission.
There you go. Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you, Chair.
I know we're having some tech difficulties this evening
No worries.
as well.
Is this working?
Yes, it is. Welcome
Great.
to you.
Well, thank you, Chair, Vice Chair Pro Tem, Commissioners. My name is Jared Vander Wheel, coming this evening as part of the Kalamazoo County Public Art Commission. This is a thing that the Commission used to do regularly. Prior to 2020, we had some turnover and kind of lost this habit. So we're trying to meet with all of our government partners this annually, kind of from here on out, and give an annual report of what we've been up to. I'll try to abbreviate our annual report, but please interrupt with questions and make sure this is relevant for all of us. So since 1981, the Kalamazoo County Public Art Commission, KCPAC, has supported public art-related objectives of the city of Kalamazoo and Kalamazoo County. In 1986, the city of Portage joined that cooperative agreement. KCPAC has for years benefited from the contributions and connections of dozens of citizens of Kalamazoo County, representing numerous arts and cultural focused organizations, as well as employees and elected officials from each of the 3 governments we serve. In 2025, KCPAC was proud to host as member individuals from the Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo, Discover Kalamazoo, Kalamazoo Institute of Arts, the American Institute of Architects, and the Kalamazoo Public Library, and others that represent the board of our commission. KCPAC's knowledge base is broad, its members' personal interests and talents varied, and their goals aligned toward enhancing the vibrancy of Kalamazoo's built environment for the betterment of all. Each month, our members volunteer their time for projects and regular meetings. In 25, our meetings occurred monthly on the 4th Wednesdays from 5:30 to 6:30 in the Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo's facilities, which will continue to do this upcoming year. My position on this commission is I represent the American Institute of Architects, one of our seats. I'm the secretary treasurer, and a similar report's being given to City of Portage and City of Kalamazoo. Toward the end of the calendar year of 24, so our year kind of started out kicking off with the Portage Cultural Arts Committee in order to connect and explore ways in which we might support their efforts further. To that end, we were joined in February last year by Dennis Martin, who gave a report of what their commission is up to. They're forming a committee similar to KCPAC for projects specific to Portage. So we are actively networking and supporting their opportunities. KCPAC also began the year meeting with representatives from the Edison Neighborhood Association, which kicked off a planning and logistics effort for the Washington Square pedestrian scramble, which was completed this past summer. And we're continuing to support them on a sculpture that will be in place of the creamery. This year has been one of particular significance to KCPAC and the broader Kalamazoo Arts Committee as the Brush the Block Mural Festival kicked off from September 2 through 7, and that's intended to be an annual festival. It was hosted by the Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo and resulted in a half dozen brand new murals across downtown Kalamazoo with wonderful public engagement. KCPAC was involved throughout the duration of the planning and execution of Brush the Block, with Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo Program Director Kim Shaw bringing news and developments and committee input each month to our meetings for consideration and feedback. Significantly, during that festival, KCPAC hosted a public art panel discussion featuring local artists Guillermo Sotelo, Corinne Paul Castanan, and Brent Harris. Panelists answered questions from members of the public concerning their experiences in creating public art, from sculptures to murals to graffiti, the trials and tribulations involved in organizing and marketing public art events and installations, and ways in which community members can involve themselves in the process. Since 2020, KCPAC has installed 20 Pixel Sticks plaques on works of public art with plaques for another 12 pieces slated for installation in the spring of 26. Pixel Sticks plaques are attractive, durable, affordable, and connect visitors via web-based multimedia concerning the work of the artist in question. It's a little QR code plaque that hosts you to a whole little backstory of whatever the artist deems relevant for their piece of work. Pixel Sticks apps users are able to not only learn more about the work of art before them, but also view other locations of additional pieces nearby and throughout the country. I've got the app on my phone. I always look it up in all the cities I travel to. In 25, KCPAC leadership made a concerted effort to reach out to officials and leaders to discuss upcoming projects, developments, and partnership opportunities in several jurisdictions, including conversations with the Vicksburg Arts, the Portage City Manager, the Portage Parks and Rec, City Kalamazoo often. KCPAC remains ready and willing to meet with artists, community leaders, and officials from all corners and municipalities within the county. We recognize the difficulties posed by the process of commissioning meaningful works of public art on limited budgets, especially in smaller communities, and are proud to be here to help. Lastly, this year, KCPAC continued our partnership with Bike Friendly Kalamazoo this year through leadership of their Fall Bike Art Celebration Art Committee. To date, Bike Friendly Kalamazoo and KCPAC have collaborated to commission 3 murals created by Kalamazoo-based artists located in the city of Kalamazoo, city of Portage, and city of Galesburg, dedicated to celebrating the joys of cycling. Bike Friendly Kalamazoo is actually working on the 2026 location, was just identified, going through the process, but it's expected to be in city of Kalamazoo also. Looking ahead, as KCPAC makes plans for the coming year, we will continue to hold our regular meetings in the Epic Center from 5:30 to 6:30 on the fourth Wednesday of each month. These meetings conform to the Open Meetings Act, and all interested members of the public are welcome to join us. Artists, building owners, project managers, and anyone planning or interested in planning public projects, art projects through Kalamazoo, and wishing to be included in our agenda are encouraged to contact us at the address provided. KCPAC recently filled a pair of membership vacancies for the calendar year of 26. Terms for KCPAC members are 1 year in duration, and matters of membership are considered in January of each year. On a personal note, I found membership in KCPAC to be valuable and unique. As an architect, I get to interact with a whole lot of different artists, graffiti artists, muralists, sculpturists, people I don't interact with on a daily basis, and their points of view are always enriching to my conversations. Membership in KCPAC is a fantastic way to get involved in making the municipalities we represent brighter places to live and work, and meet fantastic individuals to accomplish shared goals. Interested parties are encouraged to contact us. In closing, I'd like to offer my earnest thanks to the Kalamazoo County Commission, the staff of Kalamazoo County, and our Kalamazoo County representative, Commissioner Wheeler. Thank you for your continued support of Kalamazoo County Public Art Commission and our amazing arts community at large. As always, KCPAC stands ready to assist with any and all public art projects in all stages, from planning to review. So, thank you
so much. And we look forward, part of our work on the upcoming parking ramp and administration building, the north face of that will include a large public art installation. So the Arts Council is engaging collaboration with the Public Arts Commission, helping to make the call to artists who have the skill set for both graphic and painted mural design. And so we're just about to, I believe, launch that formal request. Will open live to invited artists this week.
It's very exciting.
And then we'll convene an ad hoc committee of members from the board and community who will help sort of review the final designs that come forth. So we're really excited. I'm very excited about it. And we appreciate the collaboration of the Arts Council and the interested board members in the community. Public art, I think, is a great value to the community and sort of inspires the space to be all it can be for all of us. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity on that north side of that parking garage. That's going to be probably the largest public art mural I can think of in Kalamazoo.
I think it will. I think it will be the largest public art installation in our community. Are there questions to Commissioner Gisler and Vice Chair? Commissioner Gisler.
Thank you, Chair. Excuse me. As I represent a ton of the remote townships, can you tell me, are there any of the representatives on your board in the townships that surround the two major cities?
That's a good comment. I'm not aware of the personal addresses for some of the representatives on our board. I know that City of Vicksburg is very active, coming to us, collaborating with us in public art. Specifically, the Bike Friendly Kalamazoo initiative did a one in Galesburg, I think this last year or 2 years ago. They did a wonderful mural there. So those are kind of two that have reached out and engaged with us specifically.
But they don't necessarily sit on your board.
No, the governments do not. They do not have a representative on the board. Just the City of Portage, City of Kalamazoo, and the county.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just want to thank you for getting this more active, and it's gone through ebbs and flows, and it's exciting to see the activeness of your organization. I really appreciate your partnership with Bike Friendly Kalamazoo. As I'm traveling down Lovers Lane, I see that mural there, and it's really, really cool as you're driving into Kalamazoo from Portage. So thank you very much for all your work, and thank your board as well.
Oh, thank you.
Right, I'm seeing nothing further. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay. All right, item 5. We go to other items. We have discussion and potential direction regarding requested funding support for a Blueprint for Peace, Peace Gun Violence Prevention and Intervention Initiative. We'll hear from Dr. Catlin, and then Ellen Bergstrom, Community Planner, and NFP Board Liaison from the City of Kalamazoo. Administrator.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So this evening I wanted to present a request that has come to us from the Blueprint for Peace Collaborative. And so they've approached the county seeking support for a gun violence prevention and intervention initiative intended to advance community safety, economic stability, and equitable outcomes. The initiative aligns with the county's adopted Blueprint for Peace framework and broader strategic goals related to violence prevention, stability, and cross-sector collaboration. So as part of the effort, staff have identified an external opportunity administered by CDEM, which is the Community Economic Development Association of Michigan, that could provide capacity support through a fellowship-based model. The program would place a full-time fellow to support high-impact, community-focused initiatives, with the majority of costs covered externally and a modest host site financial commitment required. The attached memorandum outlines the structure of the program, anticipated costs, and potential cost-sharing conversations with community partners like the United Way. While the opportunity presents a potential mechanism to advance Blueprint for Peace priorities, staff are seeking policy direction from the Board of Commissioners before pursuing funding commitments, submitting applications, or identifying county resources to support this or similar initiatives. So this evening, we can provide more details on the approach and on the program, and I would certainly utilize my partner here, Nolan Bergstrom with the city, to provide those details, and we will stand by for further questions.
Good, welcome, Nolan. Yeah, there you got it. You got it.
First time in here, so
yes, welcome to you.
Thank you, commissioners, for having me. I'll try to stay brief. This was an opportunity that came to me from a coworker of mine at the City of Kalamazoo, our sustainability planner, Justin Gish. He, in the past 2 years, has applied for and received funding from the state of Michigan through their climate fellowship program. This Michigan Mobility Fellowship program is similar. This is going to be, I think, cohort 2 is what's coming up this year. So they just wrapped up their first cohort this past year. And I was asked by my deputy director in our planning department to start sitting in more on the economic and transportation related working group through the Blueprint for Peace. Start talking with the group at one of the recent meetings, and Andrea Macklin through the United Way, and kind of start to understand there might be an opportunity for collaboration, and that there might be some funding assistance through the county to help support a Michigan Mobility Fellow. And I think it was already described, but the United Way was looking at potentially supporting with $2,500 towards this program, and then the City of Kalamazoo, I still have to confirm with either my deputy director or our public services division manager, could maybe support up to 5,000 of the remaining 10. But the point of the fellowship is to bring in someone who can be kind of that full-time working on a project with the Blueprint for Peace for the next 15 months. The interesting part about this, though, is that it's a little unique in the fact that we'd be collaborating as partners. So figuring out and determining how we split maybe where this person would be in terms of a host site. So do they slot in with the county for a day during the week, with the city for a day during the week, and then how to make sure we slot them in with the Blueprint for Peace work. And from my own research, the first cohort of fellows really focused on capstone projects, and those can kind of range between, maybe like a technical tool that somebody can use in their community over and over again, or another project focused on mobility initiatives. Full disclosure, I'm not the rep for CEDM, so I'm kind of, working from the background I have. But I just wanted to, bring it forward to Dr. Catlin after talking with Andrea, and it seemed like folks in the working group were also really interested at adding capacity wherever we can. And it seemed like the ask from CEDM in terms of the funding amount seemed reasonable for what we might receive. So, yeah.
Thank you for that overview. Do we have questions from commissioners? Vice Chair.
So you answered part of my question. You're still trying to figure out where this person is going to be housed. I'm looking at this description. At the end of the year, what do we hope to have accomplished with this position?
Yeah, I think the previous meeting I sat in on for the Blueprint for Peace, at least that economic work group that's kind of also focusing on transportation initiatives, was really trying to focus on better engaging the community. We have a lot of opportunities right now, at least within the city limits, because the city is undergoing our master plan update. So we're out in the community a lot. So there'd be lots of opportunities to get someone out into the community with residents, and then we would lean on other external partners to look at the communities countywide. But I think at the end of this, we'd want a project or capstone project that maybe looks at regional transportation connections, things like mobility hubs, or working with our regional transit agencies and understanding where we have gaps. I think that's somewhat where we need assistance. I think, at least I know in my world, I need more assistance or capacity to continuously engage with residents or groups that we have a hard time engaging with, because we either don't have time, during our day to day, but this person could solely focus on one specific area, and we could work within the working group to identify that. Yeah.
I certainly, I love the cost sharing method of this. We put in 12.5 initially. We'll more than likely get paid 7,500 back. So we're putting in 5. The city potentially is putting in 5, and United Way is putting in 2,500 for a full-time person. As far as housing it in the county, I mean, I'd rather give Metro Transit the $5,000 and house them over in Metro, because they do more with transit or mobility stuff than we do necessarily. I mean, maybe in our planning department, perhaps, but it seems like it would be more of a natural fit into our Metro Transit than necessarily in the county.
And classically, when we've had like our climate fellowships come into the city of Kalamazoo, they're housed in our planning and economic development department, but they are also, they've worked with external partners like the Nature Center, like Kalamazoo and Bloom, or the Wild Ones, or for various programs or initiatives. So basically, the host site is kind of there to provide the mentorship and to provide guidance on how to be the connecting piece to these partners that to kind of get the work done. So I think, yeah, it's a little different because it's a collaborative model. So understanding is it partially they're at the city for a little, for a while? Do they also get some mentorship from the county? And then we can also make sure they get to folks like Metro and people that we meet with fairly often.
Yeah, my biggest fear is we create a position, and it's only $5,000 for the county, so it's not a huge thing. It's probably worth the risk, but that has so many bosses and so many different areas that they're working in that they actually don't do anything. and that's kind of my as I've seen government before, where you have an agency with like maybe 12 different people to report to, and you kind of get lost in what the effectiveness of that actual person is doing. That being said, the cost sharing model of this makes a lot of sense to take the gamble, because it's $5,000 roughly for the county to get a full-time position be shared with different agencies. So I'm good with the risk, but that is my concern.
And it is, I'll say it is competitive somewhat, so there's no guarantee that we would be selected as a host site. There never is. We just would apply and kind of cross our fingers and hope that we have, a solid enough application. I think in terms of the host site too, the city of Kalamazoo planning and economic development staff and our public services staff, we go to the Kalamazoo area transportation study technical committee meetings. We stay connected with Metro, as we are right now with our master plan work. And we're also heavily engaged with Blueprint for Peace, multiple staff and multiple working groups. So yeah, no matter where I think they get placed, we'll really make sure they have a solid, hierarchy of who they're working with, what the structure of that would be, and how that relates to any project they want to pursue.
So, Nolan, you would not be in the fellowship. You'd be seeking a candidate to come forward to be the fellow.
Yeah. So, say if we went for it and the host site was the city of Kalamazoo Economic Development Planning Department, I would probably work as like a staff person that is either working that mentorship role or not a supervisory role, because I don't like that term, but basically being the one to help guide them through, what their project would be, how they interact and work with the Blueprint for Peace. I know Andrea and Ezekiel, we've had conversations now about how would we slot them in, make sure, but a key component of it is the regional work and grounding it in the Blueprint for Peace. So, and I think that working group in economic development / transportation wants to, like, they're doers. They want to start branching out. And I think a person like this could help that group branch out. Yeah.
Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused exactly what you're trying to do. It looks like there's an ask for 12,500. I assume that's from us. And then there's a indication that it's allocation is 90,000 total, and I assume that's to hire this person to do this work, correct?
And I will say that that's the total that would be covered by CEDM. So there's basically, we as partners would put in the 12,500, and essentially the value you get back is the 80 to 90,000. So there's benefits and things that CEDM would manage or handle through their program.
Okay, so CEDM would, you say we get this kind of back, and you're basically looking at funding transportation or helping folks with transportation. Is that what the idea is here?
Yeah, you can think of this as kind of a way to build capacity. And I think it was in the memo as well, but a way to kind of build capacity without temporarily, and it functions by being interconnected with the Blueprint for Peace work, but without having to bring in, a full-time hired person. These are recent graduates who are looking for experience, and CEDM classically has these fellowship programs to help place these candidates in different communities. Oftentimes it's been economic development in the past, or the climate fellow. This is going to be that second year of the mobility fellow, so highly focused on transportation, but so it's the same model.
Would we get a report back as to maybe, I guess I'd like to see more of how this is going to benefit stop gun violence, I guess is what I'm concerned with, and how we're going to move ahead. And I'm all about stopping gun violence. That's a great thing, but I guess I'm just a little confused. I've been reading through this and trying to get it in my head what you're attempting to do and how we can help make it happen. So thank you for your report.
Thank you. And, to the broader community, the Blueprint for Peace is a public population health focused blueprint. So it really helps us think about what are the root causes and, those social determinants of health that drive the escalation of gun violence. And so the intersection with things like poverty, for example, and its intersection with types of community-based violence. And so when we try to address the underlying instability in people's wealth and well-being, then we reduce the likelihood that their lives intersect with violence and with gun violence in particular. So that's what this is working to address, thinking about, well, how do we get people to jobs and how do we make sure that they're getting to health care so that they can stay in their job, and that way they're not then under stress or having to seek out other methods to meet basic needs, getting connected with gang violence, for example, as a young person because they can't get to employment would be, a broad example. I know, you may or may not, if we win this award, be in a mentorship role, and I am a liaison with Metro, but I'll just lift up just a couple of transportation concerns, so they're just in the back of your mind if you go forth and have discussions. I know the city of Kalamazoo is doing some work on the covered Metro stop that's near Fox Ridge Apartments, but that intersection there, I live nearby that complex, is very congested, very dangerous. There is a lack of pedestrian walkway down that hill on one side that's closest to all of that multi-unit housing. And so you have residents and children that walk out in the street in the middle of the snow. It's just not safe. And continues to be a real struggle. I know we're also seeing community conversation re-emerge, and this is how transportation intersects with education as well, but the interfaith homes also lacks school busing for the children that go to Hillside Middle School. So again, they're walking up the street, up that very steep hill in an unsafe condition, up Alamo as well. And, thinking through how you engage with these multi-housing tenants. So in particularly these large scale developments of the two I just mentioned, if you endeavor in helping to select what candidate comes forward to assist with this, someone with lived experience that can connect closely and build trust with the community will be really important to actually get the feedback that you need. So those are just considerations I would float into the ether should this move forward. I'm in support of the concept as well. Do we have any other questions or comments from commission? All right. Thank you very much.
Comments.
All right, so Administrator Catlin, do you need anything further? It sounds like we have support to move forward.
That's all I needed, Chair, is just some support. We have this budget, or we have gun violence funding budgeted in the 2026 budget, so we have $90,000. This would take a little chunk of that. So we'll report back if that application is successful, and then we can talk about the contract and all that, the terms and conditions. So.
Excellent. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's go to item 6, our closed session items. We have 2. Commissioner Wheeler has our motions.
Thank you, Chair. I motion to enter into closed session pursuant to MCL 15.2681C for purposes of negotiations of a collective bargaining agreement with AFSCME.
Motion is made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Epler. Any further discussion? Clerk, will you please call a roll?
Commissioner Geisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Epler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strips,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue.
Yes.
9 yes.
That motion carries. Commissioner Wheeler.
I motion to enter closed session for an update and discussion related to the lease of the site of the Asylum Lake Preserve pursuant to MCL 15.268D.
Motion is made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Epler. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Epler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strips,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLu, Commissioner Gisler.
Yes.
9 yes.
And that motion carries. At this time, we'll adjourn to closed session.